People, welcome back to Yard and Abroad TV. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, turn on post notification, like, comment, share, and subscribe. As I said, if you're not familiar with this channel, we talk about issues in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the whole world, people. Wagwan people, wagwan, welcome back to my channel, people. So people, Majah Hype released his side of the story on what is actually going on in this alleged case of physical abuse, people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the whole video, people. Yeah, it's like an hour long. I'm going to post it and check it out. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to cut out some of the part where he was showing, the nudes and stuff, and some pictures where YouTube might find not ideal for their platform. So I'm going to cut out some of that, people, but it's a long video. Check it out and leave in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this, people. Alright? Check out the video, people.
First thing I want to do is I want to say thank you to everyone who has been supportive in this challenging time. Second thing I want to say is that I apologize to all of the women that has been affected by this situation. This situation is a really tough situation, a really serious situation, and allegations that has been bestowed upon me is really sad. Now, I know that there's women out there that has truly been through these situations, and hearing someone speak in this manner, I'm sure it probably brought you back to a serious place. It brought you back to a bad time, and it brought you back to a tough time. Okay? I'm not here to bash Kirby. I'm not here to destroy her, because I'm going to be honest with you, I still love that girl. Up to this day. Still love her, and I still love her son. And I would never do anything that would tarnish who she is as an individual. Last year, when we broke up, when we took a break, last year, I went on live, for the people who remember this, and I spoke my truth. I spoke about, situations that happened. I spoke about, her leaving my kids and with a neighbor, and it really hurt me. And one of the things that she was upset about, right, was that I took my personal life to social media. I apologized to her. I understood where she was coming from, and I really did not need to go on social media to express what was going on in our personal life. And if anybody remembers, now I don't have to turn up the comments, because people are going to think and say whatever they want to say regardless. So I'm not even, that's not why I'm not even here for that. If anybody remembers, I then came on Instagram because her mother and herself was so persistent on me apologizing, making a public apology to her for just speaking what I was speaking about. And I did that. I did that. I came on here. I apologized to Kirby for putting our business, our personal business, on social media, and we got past it, and we moved on, and we were together again. Okay? And I'm gonna address every single thing that you think you know. But before I do that, I'm just gonna say that I'm disappointed. I'm hurt, and I'm healing. I sat here for 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days I sat here and watched people ridicule me, destroy me, bring me down from one person's allegation. I watched people that I gave 9 years of my life to disrespect me, go on my son's page, disrespect him, a 10-year-old boy. My daughter, everybody, my mother, everybody took a beating because of what one person said. I've been accused of so much, and I worked hard for where I'm at right now. I worked hard. When people told me I couldn't make it, I pushed on. When people told me that I would be nothing, I created something that I could survive on, something that I could take care of my children on, right? And one person, one person. Now, I'm gonna start with just the obvious. Just the obvious. When I met Kirby on South Beach as a fan. I met her as a fan. And like I said, I'm not here to bash, I'm here to speak my truth. And if you're willing to sit here and listen through my truth, then that's what it is. The devil is busy. I understand that. But I'm a child of God, and I will always be. I've been putting up prayers and psalms and trying to motivate people for the longest time. And it's funny how all of that could be thrown to the ground, spit on, and disrespected in the matter of 3 days. So as I was saying, and the reason why I'm giving you this history is because I want you to understand what's going on right now. I want you to feel my pain. I want you to understand where we're at with this. And after I speak about this, I'm telling you right now, I am not going to do the back and forth business. I'm not going to do the answering and re-answering. I'm making this statement today, and this is all I'm going to talk about. And I just want to get back to my life. I want to heal, and I want to just support my children in this difficult time. So I'm not going to talk about it again. Okay? When I met Kirby, she was with her baby father. I was with my baby mother, but I was going through my problems, and I really was in a bad space with my baby mother. We used to go from Florida to New York, and she told me she had a baby father and she really didn't want to be with him, but her mother is forcing her to be with the baby father. So we just was doing our fling thing. I went to Miami 2 times a year. I went for Memorial Weekend to do Best of the Best, and I went to Miami Carnival. And every time I went out there, I saw her. The day I met Kirby, I told her that I was going to marry her. The day I met her, The day that I met Kirby, I told her that I was going to marry her. Not knowing what the future would bring, but I just felt that way. Okay? When I met Kirby, Kirby told me that she was in an abusive relationship. Her baby father used to beat her. When she didn't want sex, he would beat her up. She told me that he blacked her eye. She told me that he broke her jaw. And her mother never believed her. And her mother forced her to be with this man. This is what she's told me out of her own mouth. Okay? Then, the more we started dealing, all right, let's fast forward. We was dealing, and I felt, within my self, I felt like she wasn't really with the baby father. So when I got out of my situation, I kind of started taking her seriously. She moved to Houston, and she said she was in the academy, and she was going to be a police officer, and I was basically supporting her through it. We spoke often. She asked me for money to help her, buy her firearm and stuff like that, and that's what it was. I posted Kirby on Valentine's Day 2 years ago, right? When I posted her, somebody commented on the page and said, "Are you gonna still fuck blank when you're in New York?" To my knowledge, I only knew about Kirby's baby father. After this comment was on my page, she had no choice but to tell me about a dude that she was sleeping with in New York. When these comments
they're crazy.
Is jokey, but it's okay because my truth has to come out. Mm-hmm. I prayed on it this morning, and God told me to speak my truth, and He's gonna guide me and be with me through this. So no matter what people want to say, you are just a man, just like me. Anyway, she had no choice but to tell me about this man that she was sleeping with. She told me that she was sleeping with this man since she was 15, and this man was older than her. He was about 24 or whatever. Come to find out that this man she was sleeping with was also her niece's uncle. Now, I saw a problem with that in myself already, but I also felt genuine love for Kirby. I also felt that I can help her through certain things. I also felt that I know she's younger than me and I know she needs to grow, but I'm going to be there for her and with her to help her grow. I went to Houston. All right. Like I said, she was in Houston. She told me I was going to do a show in Houston, and she told me that she wanted to see me. She said that while I'm here, she wants to let me know. I'm gonna turn off these comments. I'm gonna turn it off so I could get through this and just yeah, because it's distracting me and I'm reading it. How do I turn off these comments? Comment. Okay. 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 Now I could get through this and do what I gotta do. So she told me that she was living in Houston, and I was under the impression that she was living by herself. She told me she said she wanted to go to Houston to be a police officer because she wanted to get away from her mother. This is what she told me. Her mother has been trying to run her life for years. Her mother has been forcing her to be with people that she didn't want to be with, and she just wanted to get away from her mother. This is what she said to me. When I was going to Houston to do this show, she told me she got to tell me something. I asked her what she wanted to tell me. She said that she moved her baby father in. I was disappointed because I thought that she was over that. I thought that she was beyond that, being that she said she was with a man that was abusing her and beating her up for sex. And I guarantee you, through my experiences, I guarantee you, if we speak to her baby father, it'll be a different story. But I don't even want to go there. But anyway, I told her in 2018, I said, you know what? I don't want to be the person who is going to mash up your happy home. I'm not a house wrecker. I'm in a good space right now. I don't want to be a part of that. If you are with your baby father and this is who you're living with, I'm good. I didn't speak to Kirby the whole year of 2018. In 2019, me and some of my partners decided to do a show in Houston. I haven't contacted Kirby for a whole year. When I got to Houston, my road manager looked at me. He said, what happened to that pretty girl that you used to talk to? Don't she live in Houston? Ain't she a police officer here? I said, yeah. I said, she also lived with her baby father, and I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to leave her alone. Kirby texted me and said, so you wasn't going to reach out to me and you here? I said, honestly, no. You have your life, you have your family, you have your kids, your kid, live your life. She said, I told you that I only moved him here because I needed help with my son. Me and him is not together like that. I need help with my son. I work late hours, and I wanted him to come and help me with my child. She asked me she told me that she was going to come to the show anyway, and she was going to come in there with her police friends, and they was going to stop the show, and I had no choice but to talk to her. I guess that was jokingly, because we joke a lot. Please, I don't want nobody to call me right now. Please, no one call me. Stop the show. Right. So we linked up. She came to the hotel. We had sex, and I opened up to her, and I gave her the truth. I said, listen, at the time that I met you, I didn't really want to take you seriously because I didn't want to drag you into the things that I was going through with my personal experience, my personal life with my kid's mother and everything like that. She said, I'm sorry that you felt that way, but I would have been there with you and I would have rode it out with you. And that, to me, was some of the realest shit I've ever heard. For somebody to say that they're going to be there with you through everything. You understand? So I decided that if we wanted to take it seriously, that's what we was going to do. Me and Kirby started communicating again, and we became, girlfriend and boyfriend. We was talking while her baby father was still living there. And I accepted that. She came to Atlanta because I told her sister that I was going to engage to her. Her sister was so happy. Her sister was supportive. And I planned this engagement for when she came to Atlanta. Her mother got involved and was very upset. You don't know this man. Where do you know this man from? You don't even know his real name. Why are you just gonna marry this man? Or why are you gonna take his ring or whatever? No, she didn't say about ring because Kirby didn't know that I was gonna engage to her. So her mother started feeling like she needed to interject in this situation. So her mother decided to make a fake email and sent it to Kirby and told Kirby that this is what somebody sent to her. Within that email, it was, my name is not Nigel Joseph. My name is not Nigel Joseph, and I've been exposing Kirby's nudes. Now, for a woman to doctor up an email to stop us from communicating and stopping us from loving each other is sick. For a grown woman to do that. Okay? Kirby did her due diligence and realized that it was a lie. And she realized that her mother was lying. That's her mother. Of course, she's going to forgive her mother. She was very distraught about it, but she also, that's her mother. I expect her to forgive her mother. And her mother told her that she was only trying to protect her. Kirby called me one day when she lived with her mother and was crying, was in tears. She had a red vial. It was a clear bottle about this big, maybe a little smaller, clear bottle. It had red liquid in it and a paper wrapped up in it. She called me on FaceTime. She was crying. And I said, what's the matter? And she told me, I found, my grandmother sent me in her purse to get something, and I found this in it. She poured the liquid out. I'm not sure, but I think she even tasted it. And she was like, it's sweet. She broke the bottle. She unraveled the paper. And on this paper, it says Kirby. And I don't, like I said, I don't have a reason to lie. I'm speaking my truth today because I'm just speaking my truth. So anyway, she unraveled this paper and the paper said, Kirby, submit to QAin. Kirby, love QAin. Kirby, never leave QAin. She said, my mother and my grandmother is wicked, yo. They really voodooing me to stay with this man. So this is something that they've been into, obviously. Moving forward, I proposed to Kirby because I loved her, nothing more. I was who I am before Kirby, and I'm definitely going to be who I am after Kirby. Kirby told me that she was going to leave her job, and she wanted to move so that we could be together in Atlanta. We both agreed on that. I went to Houston, and I paid for the U-Haul. Me and my kids helped her pack all of her stuff, and we drove 14 hours from Houston to Atlanta so that we can be together. The plan was that Kirby was supposed to take FMLA for 2 months. During that 2 months, she was supposed to do her transfer paper. She was supposed to do a lateral program, which means she didn't have to go through the academy again. They would just recognize that she was a police officer in Houston and she would become a police officer here in Georgia. Well, that FMLA lasted 2 years because I took care of Kirby, spent my money, bought horses, and did everything that I could do to make Kirby happy. And I'm going to tell you the truth, nothing that I've ever done was going to make Kirby happy because she wasn't happy within herself. She jumped directly out of one relationship into another. There was no healing process. There was no time to reevaluate. There was no time for anything. And I think that was probably one of our biggest mistakes. Now, keep in mind that I've already been told that she was in an abusive relationship with her baby father. She told me that his sister was doing voodoo on her. Her mother is doing voodoo on her, or her grandmother. And she's with a dude that's been having sex with her since she was 15. Now, that dude And I'm not naming any names, but that dude, when we first got serious, Kirby told me, and I have all of the texts and everything right here, so I'm gonna read it for you. So like I said, if you don't have the time to hear this truth, then you can go now. But I'm gonna put everything out because I want this to be done with. And like I said, I'm not responding after any type of backlash, any type of rebuttals, responses. I'm going to move on after this. So the guy that she was dealing with, which is her niece's uncle, when we decided to get serious, she told me, I don't know if this is the story, I don't know if this is correct, but she told me that this man was threatening her to put out her sex tape. The sex tapes that he has with her, he was threatening her. He said he was going to make paper. He's going to print papers with her nudes and put it all over the hood because she's originally from Schenectady and Empire. So he was going to put it all over there and all of that. I reached out to some friends that have that's mutual friends with him, and I explained to them. I said, listen, if he disrespects her like that and puts out her nudes, then he's disrespecting me, and that can't happen. When they spoke to him, he said he was in his feelings, and he did say that, but he's not going to do that. It's all good. Shorty could go ahead and whatever. So the abuse, the sexual abuse, the putting out of sex tapes has been a cycle for Kirby. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's a cycle. Moving on. It's a shame to experience these things. And like I said, I'm so apologetic to the women that went through domestic violence, been beat up and all of these things and abused and all of these things. It's really unfortunate. And as a kid growing up, I'm going to put my truth all the way out here. As a kid growing up, I watched my mother. We went to my father's house and my mother went to tell him that I needed a bicycle. I was 6 years old. She went to his house. She told my father, your son needs a bicycle. Your son needs a bicycle. And my father looked out the window and he told her that if he comes downstairs, she's going to regret it. My mother and my father wasn't together at the time. He had his family. My mother had her people. And that's what it was. But I remember it like it was yesterday because this is something that I've lived through all my life. I was 6 years old. And these things I've confided into Kirby with. My father came downstairs with a machete in his hand. The story that I was told was that he tried to hit her with the side of the machete. But he chopped my mother's hand. And my mother's hand was hanging from a thread. And I sat there as a 6-year-old child and watched that whole thing. I've grown so much resentment for my father for that. I've held so much things back. And I use my comedy and my drive to become who I am today. So for somebody to try to destroy me after I've been nothing but good to this person, some people is just so wicked. And I'm not even talking about Kirby, but people is wicked. For y'all to come on here and disrespect me and disrespect my family. And y'all don't know. Y'all have no idea what I've been through. Even a piece. Not even a piece of what I've been through. I was molested as a child. I confided in somebody about it, which is Kirby. I told her, I said, listen, I've been through a lot, and I just want to know that you're here for me. I told her I was molested as a child from a male family member. And she took that and she used it as ammunition. We had an argument. She told me that I'm a faggot. She told me that my mother allowed somebody to molest me for 4 years. She threw all of that in my face. Yes, I'm not perfect, but I tried my best not to entertain the insults. I tried my best not to entertain the war and the argument and the confrontation. But I'm telling you this right now. Any man that has been in Kirby's life will be able to tell you that she strives off of confrontation. If she's willing to be honest with you people, because y'all don't know who Kirby is. Y'all know her as Majah Hype's fiance. Okay? I gave you 9 years of my personality. I gave you 9 years of who I've been and what I've been going through. I gave you 9 years of my life. You know Kirby because I introduced the world to her. I made it known that this was my wife. I've never put up a woman on my Instagram. I made it known. So for you people to come on here and second guess my love for Kirby, for you people to come on here and judge what I've done in my relationship, the nerve of you people. And y'all need to check yourself, because everybody go through situations. And that's why I come on here and I motivate people. That's why I play music. That's why I encourage people, because I know a lot of us may not want to talk about the things that we've been through, and it's easier to laugh at somebody else's issues when we're trying to hide our own. Molestation is not a joke. And I wanted to have this conversation with my kids and my family before I did it, but we're here now. For you to confide into somebody and that's what they do. And I have a lot of screenshots and a lot of texts that I'm gonna read out and I'm gonna show you. Okay? I encouraged Kirby. I motivated her. I wanted her to be the best she can be. I started working on a website for her boutique, because she wanted to sell swimsuits. I brought her to the forefront. I put her on my Instagram. I let the world know that this is my wife. I encouraged her. I told her that she has a beautiful spirit. That's why she started doing lives last week. When she did her makeup tutorial and there was 20 people on it, I said, I need to encourage my girl. I need to support her. I went and got the Mitzi outfit. And I joined her live and I added my live, and I knew that would bring her followers. She went from 3,000 followers to 14,000 in 4 days. Okay? She called her Wednesday Women's Wednesday. Now, I always knew that Kirby had some kind of loving or liking for women. And like I said, I'm putting it all out here because I don't want to come back on here and respond to anybody or anything. Every argument Every serious argument that me and Kirby had was because of another woman. And not on my behalf either. From the day I met Kirby up until 2 weeks ago, I never interacted with another woman in that whole situation. I interacted as far as conversation, yes. Flirting, yes. But sexually, because I knew what I wanted. Now, about this sex tape. Deep in Kirby's heart, and I'm looking you dead in your eyes, Kirby, because I know you got your little scum team watching. But deep in my heart, I know that you released that. You released it. This is Kirby's old phone right here. This is her old phone. I did break her phone. Yes, I did. I broke it. You know why I broke it? Because let me get to this part of it. Last week, I went to Fort Lauderdale to do a show. A friend of mine said that she wanted to come to the show. I bought her a ticket. She came. She came to the show. But I knew that this girl was just a friend. But I knew that Kirby was so on my body about having other women around and so insecure about me talking to other women that I knew that if I was to tell her that a female friend of mine wanted to come to Fort Lauderdale to the show, that she wouldn't like that. We went to the show. I came back home. Me and this girl did nothing. When I came back, Kirby told me that we need to talk. Now, I would put my head on the block for Kirby. She lived with me, so I didn't ever think that she would still be communicating with anybody or she would be doing anything with anybody. So I put my head on the block. People was always asking me, like, you think she's faithful? Like, what? Nobody couldn't tell me that she wasn't faithful. So I never had a reason to go through Kirby's phone. I never had a reason to check and I know what that brings also, so I never wanted to check her phone. When I got back from Fort Lauderdale, she hacked into my computer, found my password, and she was looking through my texts. Now, if you have an Apple phone and an Apple computer, you know that your accounts is on the same. So she went and started looking through my texts. She saw me talking to women. She saw me flirting with women. She swore up and down that I was having sex with these people, but I actually wasn't. And like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and play like I'm a saint, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. After the conversation that me and Kirby had, where she threw my molestation in my face, when she threw me having a smaller penis than the man that she was with before, and all of these things that she was saying. You see, an argument is an argument, and we could throw insults at each other, but when you take the things that was confided in you and throw it in their face, it's a different level. But from the time she did that, that's when I started really saying, you know what? I'm vulnerable. My self-esteem is low. She made me feel away. So I started talking to other people, but not just speaking, just conversing and flirting and whatever. So she confronted me with it, and she was disappointed in me, and I was disappointed in myself. I was ashamed. I felt like I was weak. I let my family down, and I'm big on setting examples for my kids, and I didn't want that to be one of the examples that I would set for them. So I begged her for her forgiveness. I told her that, you know, I'm ashamed of myself, and I begged her for my forgiveness. And I said, you know, I'm sorry. You know, I was flirting with these people, and I did have a sexual experience with one of the people. I did. And it made me feel so bad, but it wasn't actual sex. It was oral sex. And I felt so bad about that. And I tried for the last, well, this happened, I think it was last week I was in Fort Lauderdale. And this happened, and I got back home, I think, on Sunday. And Monday, Tuesday, I was just trying my best to prove to her that, you know, I'm taking accountability, and I'm so sorry, and, you know, I didn't want that for us, and, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And she was really hard on me about it, which I expected. I expected her to be hard, and I was ready for whatever the consequences were. At the same time, I thought to myself, why is this girl always have the need to check my stuff? Why does she always have the need to go through my things? If I go out to a party and I'm with, say, DJ Young Chow, or I'm with Steely Bashman, she has to go on their story to see what I'm doing, because she know I'm not going to post anything crazy. And I just was wondering why. Why does she have to go so hard for this whole, like, I'm cheating thing? And I'm not. And I said, you know what? People who do this, they do it because they have something to hide. And this is when I took her phone. Kirby, she said, you want to go through my phone? All right, let me open it. Now, you know these phones is Face ID and code and all of that. I said, I don't need to do it in front of you. So when I had her phone, she was chasing me for the phone in her vehicle, chasing me. I was driving my Bentley, she was driving her CLA, and she's chasing me through the streets for this phone. We went to somebody who I thought was my friend. We went to her house, and her house is it's on a street. Kirby blocked off the street so that I couldn't go anywhere. But if a car came, and she had no choice but to move her car, and I had to move my car too. So I pulled in a driveway. Kirby blocked me in the people's driveway. As I was reversing, she pulled her car up, and my car touched her car. Of course, she's going to exaggerate it and say that I rammed her car. But I want y'all to challenge her. Ask her to see the damage on her car since I rammed her car. Because I'm not going to take my Bentley that I work hard for and ram anybody's car. So she didn't want to open her phone for some strange reason. I spoke to one of my friends. I said, yo, bro, I'm trying to, I think that Kirby has something to hide. I said, she don't want to open the phone for some obvious reason or whatever the case may be. And he said, well, if she don't want to open her phone, you already got your answer. But I had to see. So later that evening, she told me she was going to open her phone, and she kind of tried to gear me up for what I was going to see, because she said, you're not going to see anything like what's in your phone. Turned out that she was right, because I seen way more than what was ever in my phone. I opened her phone. Well, she opened it. I was in the theater room downstairs. I was going through her phone, and I went to her pictures first. That was the first place I went. She was upstairs. She was in the guest room. And I was going through the phone, and I'm looking at stuff. And I started to see, it took me a while because I got a lot of screenshots, but I seen conversations with her and people and all of this stuff. Let me just get to it. Now, let me just get to it real quick. These are the things that I started to see in her phone. And no disrespect to any man that was involved in the situation and was dealing with her or whatever the case may be, but I really did not take to social media in this last breakup that we had. I did not want to. I did not mention it. As a matter of fact, I defended Kirby when I was playing music the other day, and somebody came on there and said that she always knew that she was a gold digger. I defended Kirby, and I played a song that Kirby likes. Okay, so this is the things that I saw in Kirby's phone. Somebody. So these are the things that I was seeing. I saw this. I saw this, which is the great famous Nate that's in that video. I saw this. I'm in the parking lot waiting for you. This is November 19th, 2019. Now, if anybody remembers 2019, I mean, was the... Huh? Huh? Oh, hold on. Let me do my thing. She told me, this. If anybody remembers 2019, that was the year, around this time, that I posted a picture of Kirby with her belly like she was pregnant. I saw this, Otis. December 25th, I saw this. And like I said, no disrespect to nobody who was involved with Kirby while I was with her, but I have to speak my truth. Okay? And this is all of 2019. So you're accusing me of cheating on you in 2020, but this is what you was doing all of 2019. So when I confronted her about these things, she told me that that is from her friends group chat. She got upset, came upstairs and broke my light in the kitchen. Okay? And like I said, I'm gonna take my time and do what I gotta do, because like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not coming back, I'm not answering. So this is Nate. Okay? This is Nate. This is the guy who was in the video laughing and rejoicing and making a joke out of her having sex in a bathroom. And like I said, I know Kirby has a son. No way in the world would I release any type of video of her in any kind of compromising situation. Because not only does it make her look bad, it makes me look bad. I have all of these things that I could have released if that was my nature, if that's who I was. This is her speaking in her group, Asia and Kay and Naja and all of these people. I want y'all to pay attention, because we're not going to play the innocent role. We're going to speak the truth. All of this is while me and Kirby was together. Okay? And she's gonna tell you that we wasn't together when these things was going on. That's what she's gonna tell you. Okay? This right here, this is actually the same ex that she told me wanted to expose her sex tape and was threatening her. She changed his name from what it was to Susan in her phone so that she could continue to talk to this person who was threatening to put out her sex tape. This is the conversation that they're having last year, December. While we're trying to figure things out, while we're still communicating, while we're still traveling, this is the things that was going on. So when you come on live and you try to portray to people that you are innocent and nothing's going on and you never did anything and I'm just picking on you and I was beating on you, I never beat on you, Kirby. She was the abusive one, and I want every man out there, don't allow women to hit you. Do not allow women to subject you to being abused and speak out on it. I want y'all to speak out on it because I was embarrassed. I never told much people, but I was embarrassed to say that a woman was putting her hands on me and spitting in my face and biting me and all of these things. I was ashamed as a man. So I know there's other men out there that's going through this, that is ashamed to talk about it. Because the minute you try to restrain them or hold their hand, you're dead wrong. And like I said, I'm very sympathetic with the women who really and actually went through these things. But it's not fair to them, those women. It's not fair to them for somebody to come and try to manipulate them and use them for situations. Everyone is saying I made this big talk about a soca artist and there is no soca artist and all of this stuff. This is the conversation with her, and I don't have the whole conversation, but this is Moto. She was talking to Moto while she was talking to me. December 29th, 2019, he pinned where he was and said, here. A couple of months ago, October 23rd, Friday, couple of months ago, hey, how are you, sweetie? How are you, love? So this is what you're doing. And that's why you had the need to go through my phone. Because you knew exactly what you was doing. Okay? I read her chats with her friends. They called me a paymaster. I was nothing but a paycheck for Kirby. This is her speaking to Nate. And like I said, me and Kirby had our offs and ons, but we was always trying to work through it and always trying to fix things. Right? So whether she was in Florida, whether she was here, we always had the need to try to fix things. Does anybody remember this date? Look at the date and tell me, does anybody remember it? Because I'm going to remind you of it right now. Okay? I was nothing but real, genuine, and honest to Kirby. I took care of her for 2 years. If you've seen that screenshot that I just put up when she said she was at the dentist and she was getting a root canal, her mother called me and told me that I have to pay her root canal bill because that's my woman, knowing that she was engaging with other men. So this is what it's been, the whole entire relationship. So you see the date on this right here. You see the date. Now I'm going to show you the date of something else. So when they talk about they wasn't with me at the time, makes sense. This is when we went to LA. You saw it, and she said she was in LA. Yes, he flew you out. Yes. While I'm on stage trying to make $1 to feed my family, while I bring her on the stage and telling everybody that this is my wife, you're telling a man that you're going to be back and you're going to see him when you get back. This is all when we was in LA. Okay? I've set up this whole thing for her. That's what love is. That's what love is. This is the picture that I was talking about. Okay? And I have so many texts and everything that I could show you. And really and truly, I don't feel like I need to go into all of that. But the way that I see that you guys dealt with me, it's necessary. The way that I seen her play this innocent role, it's necessary. I've been taking care of Kirby since she got here. Okay? And she's talking about years. I was abused for years. For years? We only been together for 2 years. What's years? You're talking like it was 10 years. And then you're lying. I've been taking care of her. This is all her. What's also with the stuff that I sent to her bank account. Okay? So the truth must be told. Kirby is a very abusive woman. Very abusive. Emotionally, verbally, physically. This is her friend. Now, any woman, and I'm not going to keep it on there. I'm not going to keep it on there because I don't want... Look, just read. Just read. Just read. Don't believe me. Read. Read. Don't believe me. Read. I just wanted to speak my truth. So she claimed that I did voodoo to her. She said I was doing voodoo on her, right? A friend of mine's, when we was going through our problems, introduced us to someone that was supposed to be a spiritual man, right? Me and Kirby both decided that we wanted this man to help us through our problems. And, you know, he was a spiritual man and he could pray over us and do whatever he had to do to make sure that we was okay. This man was a Haitian man. We both decided that this is what we wanted to do. The man did a spiritual reading And the man said that the same guy that has been threatening her, put out her sex tape and all that, has been doing voodoo on her. That's what the man told us. I'm not assuming anything. I'm not making any allegation. I'm telling you the facts. The man said that the guy who she was with was doing voodoo on her to keep her in his life. The man asked Kirby, did you ever give this man any piece of clothing that you wore or anything? She said yes. She said he asked for her shirt when she was in the academy, and he took a dirty panty and had that. And the man was doing voodoo on her. So we went for it to be removed. We didn't go to a black magic specialist or a dark voodoo person. We went to somebody that said they were godly and they could help us take that off. The man, when me and Kirby had another situation where she left, the man said that he's been calling Kirby and she's not answering his phone, and he takes that as disrespect, and he doesn't like that. He told me that what he was going to do to her and this and that, and I didn't like the fact that that's where he was going with it, because if you're a man of God, you shouldn't have that type of thought process in your mind. And this is where I realized that this man was a dirty man. He told me what he wanted me to do to Kirby, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I knew that I was never going to talk to this man again. I knew that I was never going to do what he told me to do to Kirby, so I left it alone. But I left that paper that I wrote everything down in my drawer. Once again, Kirby had the need, when I was not home, to search through my things, and she found it. And I was honest and I was open with her, and I told her, I said, listen, this is what the man told me to do, but I would never do anything like that to you, because I love you genuinely. So when she talk about voodoo, come on. Come on. I'm going to read the other texts that I couldn't bother to scroll down and all of that stuff. But I also want to show you the amount of interference that her mother had to play in our relationship. Okay? I want you to see the fight that we had to fight through from day one. Okay? Because everybody else had a ulterior motive for our relationship. Everybody else had a say about what they wanted and how they wanted it in our relationship. When I posted, the first time I posted, Kirby, this is what appeared in my DM. And I'm about to wrap it up. I don't want to be on here all day, so I'm about to wrap it up, but I'm just letting, okay? As a matter of fact, you know what? It's not even important. It's not even important. So, I have the sex tapes of her and the same dude that was planning to leak it. I got all kind of sexual things from Kirby's phone. Why leak that one? How you know it wasn't that guy that leaked it? The guy that was rejoicing and laughing and clowning her out in a restaurant bathroom. How we don't know that it wasn't him? How we don't know it was her? When she came out and did her live, I sat in the house and I was in disbelief that the same person that was mad at me telling my truth last year could somehow find it in her heart this year to try to lie and ridicule me. How we don't know? I was sitting in my house when this whole thing happened. I had people in my house. They was comforting me. They was telling me, don't worry about it. You're going to get through it. I'll go to sleep. I'll wake up. And the next morning, a sex tape is out. and it's supposed to be me. What do I look like? What do I look like releasing Kirby's sex tape to the public when I still love this girl up to today? And I'm not ashamed to say it because love is real. I still have love for Kirby today. You understand me? You understand? So I have no reason for that. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna read these things, and I'm gonna go on with my life. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who's watching and giving me your time for me to speak what I had to speak. And I'm just gonna give you a quick situation. Last year, we went to St. Kitts. To the people who follows me, they understand and they know what I'm talking about. We all went to St. Kitts. That was when we all had on the Adidas track pants with the Nikes, and everybody was bunning us out and saying you can't wear Adidas with Nikes and all of that. We went to St. Kitts because Kirby, after 3 months of doing house chores and taking care of the kids, she felt like she needed a break. Well, I was going to work, but I said, you know what? If she's tired, I usually leave from Thursday to Sunday. I'm going to book it from Monday to whatever and spend the week, and we will have a good time and we will go back home. So even though I was dealing with spending extra money by bringing them and all of that stuff and all of that, I still wanted her to be happy. We got to St. Kitts. We had a good time. The first night, we drove through St. Kitts. We saw all the monkeys and all of this stuff. And, we went home. And she took a shower. I laid in the bed. She came back out of the bathroom with some Victoria's Secret panties. And I don't believe she had a top on. But the panties that she had on was like it was knitted. Like it was a crochet panty or whatever. And she came on top of me, and she got on top of me, and she asked me, do I like her panties? I said, no. Take them off. I love you for who you are. Nothing that you put on is going to make me more attracted to her. Please, nobody call me, please. Let me just do what I got to do, please. I'm about to wrap it. All right. So I went to, so she's on top of me, and she said, you really don't like my panties? I said, listen, it's not about your panties. I love you. I like you. You turned me on, not panties. She got upset, and she went in the bathroom, and she sat in the bathroom. I walked in the bathroom. I asked her, I said, what's the matter? She said she's trying to make an effort to spice things up or make things and I didn't appreciate it. I said, it's not that I don't appreciate it. I'm trying to let you know that you don't need to enhance anything. I love you the way you are. You are beautiful the way you are. You are sexy the way you are. She started arguing with me. Now, if anybody knows Kirby, an argument will definitely turn into a fight because she likes to hit people. She likes to disrespect people. That's her thing. So I seen that it was getting heated, and I went out the room, and I went into the living room, and I laid down. When I laid down, she followed me out there, and she was like, I'm sorry, just come to bed. And I said, no, I don't want to come to bed because I realize what's going on. I don't want to fight. And she's telling me, you better come to bed now. You better come to bed now. And I'm seeing that she's getting more and more aggressive. So I put the cover over my head, and I'm just ignoring her. That's when I felt, boom, she punched me on the side of my face. I got up, I tried to restrain her, and she's just swinging at me, swinging, swinging, swinging. After that, the kids got up. She went in the room. She started packing her suitcase. She said, I'm no good, and I'm always starting stuff, and I'm going to leave. And she tried to leave, and all the kids sat down by the pool with her. And I told her, I said, listen, let's put that behind us. Let's put that behind us. Let's not mess up this family vacation that we put together, and for the kids. And we all convinced her to stay, and she stayed. That's one incident. This is a text that I sent her because she was saying to me that I forced her to leave her job. Never. Wasn't it you? Wasn't it you that was avoiding to go in your apartment because your son's father was there? Didn't you get engaged while you had a whole nigga in your apartment? You saying that I needed a nanny. Just remember, I held it down for years, doing what I've been doing and still doing it after you left. Never skipped a beat. And I paid a babysitter whenever I needed to go to work. No love was when you spit in my face and fought me. When you hit me in my face in St. Kitts. When you kept threatening me that you was going to move out. Love is when we sat downstairs when you sat downstairs and let the bitch kiss you and suck your titties in my house. You let some random chick touch your ass twice in front of me and told me that she would take you from me. But she didn't have to because you were never mine. So this is the things that I had to deal with, and it's right here. And I could post everything in my story so that y'all can have y'all time with it and read it and do whatever you have to do. I'm not a woman beater, and I've never thought about being a woman beater. Whatever and wherever she got her pictures from, that's okay. That's okay. But don't try to manipulate people to thinking that I was beating you up, let alone for years. Okay? I was driving on the highway. She called me a bitch ass nigga. She want to fight. She told me she wanted to fight. I'm ready. What's up? I said, I'm not going to fight you, Kirby. She said, I know. All you're going to do is cry like a bitch like you always do. Then she said to me, I will run this fucking car off the road. I said, Kirby, do not touch the steering wheel. Three minutes later, she tried to run us off the road. She pulled the steering wheel, dragged it, and tried to drag it into a car and drag it into the wall. I stopped the car. I removed her hand. It was a tussle. I removed her hand. And when I say tussle, I mean like trying to get her hand off of the steering wheel. I removed her hand and I pulled over. I said, Kirby, what are you doing? What are you doing? You trying to kill us? We got back in the car. She told me that she was going to run the car off the road so that I can crash the car and get a DUI and go to jail. I started driving again. She grabbed it again. She grabbed it again and then punched me in my face. Repeatedly punched me in my face. And I got pictures of that also. But like I said, today, I'm just going to speak my truth. And I'm not responding to anything. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to move on with my life. Okay? Started beating on me while I'm driving. And I'm trying to defend myself. Okay? So the abuser is trying to act like they are the ones that has been abused. If she really want to be honest with y'all, if she really wants to be honest with y'all, tell her to open her notepad in her phone. Don't delete it now. Be honest with the people. Look in her notes and see what her notes say. She has a note that she wrote to herself that says, stop following Nigel around. Keep your hands to yourself. Control your anger. You see, she wiped this phone. She called AT&T and she had to wipe it immediately because she didn't want me to have as much proof as I have. But it's all good because God, you could wipe this phone, but you can't wipe God. God knows everything that was going on, and God knows everything. And like I said, I want to stress this. The women that has been through physical, verbal, emotional abuse, I am truly, humbly sorry for you. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I apologize for this situation to even bring back memories of what you've been through. This is a real situation. I'm empathetic. I have compassion, and that's how I was raised. That's how I was raised. Anybody who's met Majah Hype out of the time that I became who I am can never tell you nothing wrong about me. They might say he played too much, he's this, he that, but you would never hear that. You would never hear that. Never. And usually when situations like this happen, there's multiple people that come out. People who molest people, they didn't do it once. People who are abusers, they didn't do it once. People who rape, they haven't done it once. So I just started today, just started this year. Let the truth be free and your conscience be clear. And I'm not going to respond anymore about anything. As a police officer, if you sat in a relationship for 2 years and know that you was being abused, you did a disservice. That oath that you took, you did a disservice. No legal actions, no nothing. Just on Instagram thanking people for the support. What was your real motive? Was it to get followers? What was your real motive? Because if you were healing, you would take the necessary actions to heal. And let me tell you something, Instagram and social media is not the place to heal. Counseling, therapy, that is healing. And that's what I need. After being ridiculed about being molested, after being beat, after being disrespected, spat on, you threw my clothes out of my own house that I pay mortgage for. Okay? That's what the truth is. So you guys that's out there that sees my life as an entertainment, this is not love and hip hop. This is two people that is hurt, that needs healing and needs honesty and needs somewhere for comfort. Because neither one of you are going to be affected by what's going on between me and Kirby right now. Everybody else is going to, after this, they're going to go and see what her reply is. Then you're going to laugh and joke and this and that. But understand that it's two people that was ripped apart. Two people that was ripped apart. Two families that was ripped apart. Children that was involved. Where is your self-dignity and your self-respect? My son is going through it right now. My son is going through it right now. Okay? My son came to me and told me that he was being abused by this young lady. He was being talked to and threatened by this young lady. He came in my room last night and cried. Okay? So when you decide to ridicule and joke and all of this type of stuff, know that there's people that's being affected by this. Okay? Know that. Know that. The night that my clothes was thrown out on the lawn, out of my own house that I work hard for, and liquor was being thrown at me while doing it, I had to threaten to call the police for her to stop. I literally took my phone and act like I was calling 911 for this girl to stop doing what she was doing and stop trying to instigate a fight. Okay? So when the abused person is being thrown and flung to the side you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're trying to mask and hide your own problem and throw it on someone else. But it's time to get help. It's time for you to get anger classes or whatever you need to do to fix your issues. You need real people in your corner that's going to admit to you what is wrong and what's not the truth. You can't hide behind it forever. Your baby father beat you and abused you and all this sex and when you didn't want to give him sex, he beat you up. The guy wanted to expose your sex tape. You bringing all of that back on me. Why? When all I did was love you. When all I did was take care of you. Try to show you things that you haven't seen before. Take you on trips that you haven't. We was in Barbados riding horses last year, December the 8th, which is so ironic because we around the same time. And this is the time that you was telling people that you want to meet, you want to see them, and you want them to put their finger in your butt and all this kind of craziness. Where's your dignity, your self-respect? Where is it? If you didn't want to have a family, you could have said so. But you abused me, verbally, physically. You made me feel like I was nothing. You threw things in my face that I confided in you about. So you could go ahead and put up your pictures and try to fabricate stories and make it look like I was abusing you. But God ain't sleeping. God is not sleeping. Believe me when I tell you that. And I'm going to close off in that. I'm not even going to go into all of the other texts that I have because I don't think that it's necessary. I really don't think it's necessary. But what I am going to do is I'm going to read this scripture. And I hope that y'all have a blessed day. And like I said, this is it. I'm not answering anything. And you can make your speculations, your judgment. You could do whatever you want to do. But this is my protection. God is my protection. Okay? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lay down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of the righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I appreciate y'all time. Y'all stay blessed. God bless you. And I just had to tell my truth. And like I said, this is it for me. This is where it stops. I wish Kirby all the best with her life and her future. And like I said, I still love that girl up to this day. Because that's what real love is. Real love wouldn't allow me to come out here and talk and bash her and disrespect her. I would never do that. Her son lived in my house for 2 years. In and out, in and out. I had a bond with him. And like I said, no disrespect to anybody who had anything to do with this, but I had to tell my truth. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you and God bless.